Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 7th episode of Notes for Next Time. We took a little bit of a week there to get some audio in order, so hopefully when you're hearing this, it's going to be our best outing yet.
I hope so, because if not,
Me too, I might kill myself.
throwing it all out.
We had an episode planned for last week, but things came out horribly for some reason. We tried a new method of audio capture, and it just went badly, but luckily I was able to fix it over the course of the week, so what you're hearing now should be better than, well, nothing at all. That's guaranteed. So we talked about a lot of cool stuff last week,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to kind of rehash some of it just so that way we're kind of caught up with kind of where we were, and we still get some of those thoughts out into the ether. And then we'll talk about some other stuff too.
You have one beard hair that's separate from the rest of your beard.
It's super long.
It's fairly long. I want to get it so bad.
Go ahead, man.
No, I
We're
can't.
friends on this show.
I know.
All right. Hopefully.
I'll just look at it for the rest of the episode.
Okay. I feel really weird now.
How's your watch?
My watch?
Yeah.
It's great. It's the
Okay.
best one I own. It's a Fossil watch, and I wear
How's
it
your
a
watch?
lot.
I don't have a watch.
Well, then his is better than yours.
You're
isn't
right.
it?
How's your watch?
It's good. You need a watch, man. Watches
know.
are cool. Put it
I
on.
don't- I
Throw
don't
it on.
want- I
It
don't
feels.
want
It
to.
feels good.
You feel a little bit more put together.
I don't want to. I'll get my own watch.
Offer is on the table.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's very funny. I feel like you would be a smartwatch kind of guy. You're kind of techie. You got your
I've
tablet.
tried.
You got.
I've really tried. Yeah.
And it just didn't work.
I don't like being that connected. I get annoyed. Like if I get a text message, I get annoyed when it shows up on my wrist.
Yeah, that's fair. You can turn that off though.
That's partly why I just leave mine dead. Literally. I mean, you guys know that. They
Yeah.
don't know that. I don't charge my Apple Watch. I just wear it for appearances.
That's so
I
funny.
wish they sold like an Apple Watch shell that I could just wear for like $15.
I'm sure they do. If you Amazon,
Yeah.
just get a case and then just like stuff it with.
It was cool at work. Like when I used to serve,
Yeah.
I could like do the whole James Bond thing and like talk into my wrist. And
You got a hologram.
yeah, I wish. And it was cool for
I
that.
would buy that watch.
But I mean, other than that, it was just like, all right, got
Yeah.
a watch that keeps vibrating along with my phone.
I know Marissa likes hers a lot because again, she's a nurse, so she can like get her text
That's
messages.
one of the
that-
few professions that it's like really good for
Yeah.
because it's hard to actually have your phone on
Mhm.
you when you're doing stuff.
she could like
that.
monitor how she's doing and stuff too, which is
Yeah,
cool.
heart rate.
Yeah. I don't know. I got it for her birthday. And when she was like setting it up and stuff, and I was like, "This is kind of cool technology. I kind of wish
It's really
I had
novel
one
at
for me."
first, but
Yeah,
it's like
it
a
is.
VR or something, and you just
Yeah.
kind of lose it.
It seems like the offer is now off the table.
Yeah, the offer
Correct.
is back on his wrist.
The offer is on my person.
I hate when people say that.
Do you?
Oh, it's on my person. I'm like, just say me.
It's on
I
me.
have it.
It's on me.
I have it.
Yeah,
A lot of police officers love the. It was on his person.
yeah. It's like
He has a weapon on his person.
I'm getting more mad the more we say it. The more I realize just it's the dumbest way to say that.
My phone won't recognize my face when it's behind this
I
mic.
know. I noticed that too. You just gotta just peek from your mic.
Yeah. So how are you guys doing? The all important question.
Good.
How's
But-
morale?
Morale is the color.
Sky high. Hopefully.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Taylor?
Good movie.
Great.
Isn't that a movie?
Doing great.
Sky high?
Yeah. It's like the
Probably.
superheroes on Disney Channel.
Oh, I don't know. That's a deep cut, man.
Pretty well. We're about to find out.
I haven't watched Disney Channel in a long time.
Sky High.
Bet it's all on Disney Plus now.
Yeah.
anyways.
Sky High 2005. American superhero comedy
thank God.
film about an airborne school of teenage superheroes.
Somebody out there got that reference.
Yes, somebody did.
Somebody did. Taylor,
Hmm.
how was The Irishman?
Oh, The Irishman was quite good.
You've both seen it and I haven't, and now I feel obligated to see it.
Well, we are all off work today. That's why we're here.
I'm not watching The Irishman with the
However.
latter half of my day.
It's 3:00 now. We'll finish it by 3:00 tomorrow, but then I'll already be at work.
But it'll be the best.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a good movie. What did you think though, Taylor? Come on.
I thought it was very good. It was I mean, Jimmy Hoffa is someone like that I feel like everybody has probably heard of,
Mhm.
but nobody really knows a whole lot about. So it was cool to have that insight, like, into why everybody now has heard, like, everybody's heard of him, like how influential and important he actually was. I mean, they touch on a couple other historical moments, like in the time they talk a lot about like the Kennedys and stuff like that. But I mean, it was a really good movie. I mean, the cast is phenomenal. You know, when you get De Niro on the screen, you get Pacino. When you get
Yeah.
them all together,
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci. Yeah, I mean,
he's
it's
so good in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, like when you get that cast together, that it's one going to be a mob movie typically, and they're
the director.
yeah, well, yeah. But yeah, it was very good. I need to watch it again though.
Did you feel the length, or did it skirt by pretty fast?
So I felt the length. The only reason I say that is we were talking about it earlier. I started in like the late morning watching it, and like probably 2 hours in, I got hungry, so I took a break to go eat. Had I not gotten hungry though, I would have been able to get through it without an issue. I mean, it's a long movie, but there's not like a watch check moment at all. Like you feel like that everything you see on the screen is very meaningful. So yeah, it was definitely one that I would say went faster. I mean, I watched It, which was under 3 hours. You know, there's a couple other movies that felt like that they were a lot longer than this movie did. When this one was probably a good hour or so longer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
What did you think
good.
of the de-aging?
What's that?
What did you think of the de-aging?
It looked fine. There wasn't anything that I looked like that I pointed like that I could see that was like super noticeable. I mean, obviously it doesn't look perfect because it's not real.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I mean, it wasn't anything that was blatantly obvious. I mean, it's there just because you can tell it's the same actor,
Mhm.
but nothing that I would say takes away from the movie.
They made such a big deal about it too that you like know that it's gonna be there, so
Yeah.
you're almost looking for it
yeah.
extra. Yeah. Again, the one in that Corridor Digital video, the one shot that they use as like the bad shot is
Mhm.
really the only shot in the entire movie that I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
That was it. It was just the one instance of floaty head Rob and Bob,
Floaty head Rob.
floaty head Bob. And that was it. I think it's pretty. Did you watch that behind the scenes featurette where they talk about how they do it? There's a Netflix featurette.
All I saw is that Corridor Digital video.
Okay, like because I thought they did like just really good like de-aging. Like I think like they've got the actor's face and every frame they just like make him look smoother.
Yeah.
Or like whatever, right? But
just
no.
one button, just like a smooth.
Yeah, just like a really bad
Yeah.
filter. But no, they literally they're all like every time you see them on screen and they're playing younger, that's a full CG face.
That's weird.
Like they have complete CG doubles for them, and they're just lit so well, and the technology is just practically so close that I thought it was their actual heads with just like a layer of special effects over it, but it's not. It's a complete digital double.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's for it to work as well as it does, especially with those scenes that have close-ups and extreme close-ups and all that. Pretty great. But yeah, after about 10 minutes, your brain doesn't notice it anymore. Like you're just like, okay. And it's funny because they are so old that there is only so much they can do.
Mhm.
So like there's a little bit of an instance where it's like they're trying to play like real young versions of themselves.
Clearly.
And they're just kind of like, okay, they're just 41 now and not,
not 20 something.
not 86. Yeah. But it works. It's I would agree with you. It's a good movie. It's like it's like an experience. It's like a vibe. I would compare it to kind of like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where it's like kind of just a weird vibe that you ride for a few hours, and it tells you a good story. The ending is heartbreaking. Like I can't want to talk about it.
Does he get buried in Giant Stadium?
No. But yeah, the whole Jimmy Hoffa thing, like you were talking about, growing up in the mid-late 90s and not really knowing who he is and just knowing that he disappeared, that's all I really ever knew. To know that he was such an influential figure is kind of interesting, and it added a cool layer to the movie.
And there's people out there that, I mean, that know what happened, obviously. I mean, even people alive today. If you look more into it, like there's like investigators, people work for the FBI. It's like, we know who did this. There was one in particular that I read about after I watched the movie. The guy, he was a former investigator that worked on the case. He said that they were like almost 100% sure they know what happened to him. They know who did it, but they couldn't bring it to light or anything because the people who provided the information were like governments, like, you know, government witnesses. So if they would have released the information publicly, it would have put those people at risk. So they didn't.
Yeah.
Where would you rank it on like Martin Scorsese's filmography? How many movies have you seen? Because I'm actually looking at his movies and I've realized that I haven't seen a whole lot of.
I've seen quite a bit.
I've seen Goodfellas.
I honestly liked it less than Mean Streets, and Mean Streets is like his first big movie with Rob De Niro.
Yeah.
Mean Streets is like 73. It was like his first big movie.
It is 73. I'm looking at it right here. Shutter Island was dope.
Yeah. I only saw it once. I can't speak to it right now.
I've seen The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yep.
And I think that's it. I haven't seen.
I would put it above Wolf of Wall Street for me,
Yeah.
and below Goodfellas and Mean Streets and Raging Bull.
That's fair.
I don't know what it is about it. It's just
Do you think the hype kind of like.
maybe if it were to come out real quietly,
Yeah.
maybe be like, oh fuck, look at this thing. Maybe.
It's hard to have a movie with that cast and that, you know, director behind it and have it go under the radar. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and this might be the last time they all work together. You know,
It's weird that it was a Netflix
Possibility.
movie too.
Yeah, because I mean, with Scorsese talks about it. He's like, nobody would fund it because
Yeah.
he wanted to do the de-aging. Well, first he went to when he was making the movie, he's like, who's gonna play younger for these guys? Who's gonna play a young Rob De Niro? Who's gonna play a young Al Pacino? And then they're like, we don't want to do that actually. Like that's just too much of a headache. And they're like, someone mentioned de-aging to Martin Scorsese, and he was like, all right. So then they're like, let's test this. They had Rob De Niro do a scene from Goodfellas.
Oh, okay.
Like they had him on camera redo that scene, and then they aged him down and compared the scenes
really?
from the original
That's
film.
really interesting.
Yeah, and it just matched up like real well. So that's the pitch, and that sold Marty on doing it.
That's dope.
And so they did it, and nobody wanted to. And obviously, when you're doing this kind of special effects, the budget skyrockets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it like doubled or something crazy. So the only place that would back it was Netflix. And Netflix was like, "Yep, we got you." And
Hey, that's cool.
who knows if it's
Well.
made its money back because it's streaming. I don't know how any of that works. But I mean, it's nominated for Oscars. So
10 of them.
is it 10?
Mhm.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Joker was 11, right? Joker has.
Yeah,
I
It's
bet
coming up
there's
soon.
I bet there's a lot of studios out there that are probably kicking themselves about not backing it.
maybe. I mean, probably. But I mean,
When are the Oscars?
February, right?
I always think that I think it's weird that they're in February.
Yeah, it seems like too late.
Yeah.
You're just like, hey, speed that shit up.
Yeah.
Like you can't
If
be
it's
that.
for 2019, do it like
Yeah.
the first weekend of January.
Yeah, like, what? Like, can it be like the week before Christmas? Like, I know that's cutting award season short there,
Yeah.
but like, I don't know. I don't like that it's like 2 months into 2020.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh well, oh yeah, these movies did come out. Like, but yeah, and then Mike and I watched Parasite the other night,
Mm-hmm.
which is a Korean film that is getting a lot of praise around
Got some nominations itself.
some circles. It was the first foreign film to win the SAG Awards equivalent of Best Picture, I believe is what happened. So that's pretty cool. And having seen a handful of foreign films since I had to watch them in school, it definitely reminded me of a few other films I've seen that are from. It reminds me a lot of doesn't really remind me a lot of The Host, but there's this Japanese movie called The Host, which is one of my favorite. And it's really popular, I feel like, in other parts of the world to have like those genre mashups, which is kind of what Parasite felt like to me.
Okay.
It felt like kind of like a con man film with a bit of
That whole aspect I really liked.
bit of a thriller part, and then there's a couple of moments of horror, and then you have comedy all interspersed throughout. But I really liked it.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought it was cool. I don't know if, having not watched a foreign film in a while, I think it took me a second to kind of get reclimatized to, just to
Listening, reading, watching.
the trifecta that is watching foreign films. And I've watched some foreign films that you can't think about it too hard either. Like if you think about it too hard and you're like, and they like I have a problem where I overfocus sometimes on it and then I like lose what's happening on screen or whatever. But if you just like let your mind do it, like your mind will pick up what's going on.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I wasn't really blown away by it. I loved the construction of it.
Mhm.
And it was absolutely over the top absurd, which is always fun. I thought it was pretty good.
All the performance is really good. I think it was acted really well.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying not to be like, I was just trying to take it in. I wasn't trying to be like, this is a foreign film as opposed to like an American movie.
Right.
And I wasn't trying to compare anything. And I enjoyed the ride. I thought it was, again, the whole like con aspect of it. It was surprisingly funny. Like everyone was super likable and the situation was kind of fun. And I liked it a lot.
Yeah, some of the scenarios they get up to are crazy.
Yeah.
Really good writing on that aspect. Yeah, it was cool. I don't know why I was expecting a straight up horror film.
A lot of people, I wasn't, because I saw a couple of reviews that straight up were like, don't expect this to be, because it's not. So
see, I was.
Yeah.
So maybe that's partly why I was kind of let down, because I was really I guess I was partly let down because I just let that slip out. So I guess I was partly let down because it wasn't. I wanted it, I guess, to be this kind of bone chilling. Because like foreign
like
films,
that one scene.
Foreign films like they know how to get horror right.
Oh yeah, well they're the reason we have Ring and The Grudge
and so they know what's going on, and incredible filmmakers, and so I was hoping for a little bit more from that angle, but to see that it wasn't that was still really cool. The characters were great.
Yeah.
Who would you say your favorite character was?
Because
it was really an ensemble piece.
Yeah, it definitely was. I think it was more how they interacted with each other more than like one single character. But I like the sister a lot. The dad was pretty funny.
Yeah, Mr. Kim's my favorite. That's what I'm going to call him, because
they all played off each other really, really well.
Yeah. I like the whole, not to get into spoilers, but I like the whole aspect, the whole twist of, so it's like a social commentary at the end, where the stark contrast between where, I'm trying not to spoil it, but where the main family is at the end of the film versus when they go back to that one place.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And everyone is just like, you see the two parts of life juxtaposed next to one another, and it's just like, this is how a lot of shit is.
100%.
Like, people are like, oh my God, let's go get our fucking shit, fuck. And then
they do say that a lot.
They do say that.
A lot
of
people say that exact sentence.
And then there's people, who are struggling to, even have a clean place to live.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. It was hit on a bunch of different things.
I would definitely check it out. It's cool to expand watching a foreign film can be not taxing, but it's
different.
A totally different element that you wouldn't.
Yeah, I would definitely God, I watched like 3 or 4 of some of the best I've ever seen in class. One's from the 30s. It's an Italian film. It's called Bicycle Thieves. It's so good. Still, it's so good. It's just ages so well. And then the one that I watched in that class that really took me, it's almost like an Aaron Sorkin script, because it's just written so fast, and like it's like an action movie of dialogue, kind of like Steve Jobs is. Okay. It's called A Separation, which we looked at.
Yeah.
That's still my favorite. I think it's either an Iranian or Pakistani film or something, but like the way they write that movie and the way they direct it is just brilliant. And I love that movie. But it's definitely good to expand horizons.
Yeah.
And I wish more foreign films played around here, because they just don't, because we live in a weird area, but yeah.
I feel like we live in a fairly normal area. I feel like the weird areas are the ones that your big cities that would actually get those films.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess compared to everything else, we live in a pretty normal area.
Yeah. Pretty standard America here.
So one of the big topics that we were going to talk about today was movies versus TV, in terms of, how does each medium, well, not really, I guess they're different mediums. What are some advantages and disadvantages of each? Which one do we each prefer? Which one do we think the future will be kindest to?
Yep.
Let me put it like that. So what do you think, Taylor? Like, movies or TV? Like, if you had to pick one, like, take your favorite property, and they were like, hey, we have your favorite thing in the world here. Do you want us to make a TV series of it or a new movie of it? What would it be?
The big benefit that I see with TV, and you see it with a lot of shows like Game of Thrones, The Mandalorian, like movie or like TV shows that tell a story. With a TV series, you can get so much more content out to the public, whereas a movie, for the most part, you're limited to 2 to 3 hours. There are movies, The Irishman, that go over 3 hours, but there aren't many that do.
Mhm.
So like one big series that I'm a huge fan of, and the movies did great, but like Harry Potter.
Mhm.
If you read the Harry Potter books, like there's so much more content in the books that they had to leave out in the movie just purely for time's sake.
Yeah.
If they would have made a TV series and told the Harry Potter story, they could have put all of that in there. So I like that TV, they can do more because they have more screen time to work with. And honestly, that's probably the direction things will go in the future, just because of like streaming services and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I feel like that movies versus TV, like the TV series are always going to be the more popular one. So going forward, that's probably where the money will be.
Yeah.
So it's a shame to say that because movies have always been like the big thing for like big media. But
Excuse me, folks.
but yeah, definitely TV I think is gonna outpace movies in the future, and probably depending on who you talk to, kind of already does.
Yeah. And speaking of TV, real quick, not to sidetrack, but you saw The Servant. You've watched all of The Servant. What'd you think of it?
It was really cool. It was fun. It was a bit slower paced than I was expecting. It was produced by M. Night. They had multiple directors all throughout. The cinematography was probably the standout of like just the entire thing itself. It looked phenomenal. There were some shots that they were noticeable enough for your brain to be like, wow, that just looks really cool, but it wasn't enough to like completely take you out of what was happening. But it was acted well. The story gets pretty crazy. It was cool because it kind of starts like the first couple episodes you get a certain vibe from, and then a few episodes in, it kind of like the dynamics change. So it's like kind of suspense thriller, and then it turns into like a more mundane, just like story, and you think things are good sometimes, and then they turn out to not be good. It was it was what you would expect from a project M. Night would at least put his name to.
Yeah.
But it was a super easy watch. Marissa and I did it in 2 nights. It's 10, like 35 to 40-minute episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And
it seems to be the format.
Yeah.
With Mandalorian and now this, and I'm sure other shows will follow suit, but that seems to be what people are doing. Maybe it's a thing of respecting the viewer's time more, and it's easier to carve out a half hour than it is to have, 50 minutes or an hour free. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, it was really cool. I enjoyed it, and I'm hoping for a season 2, probably next year. But it was cool.
Yeah.
It was I like psychological stuff. I like things that make me think when I watch it, and this definitely did it.
What's it called?
Servant. It's on Apple
TV.
Plus, Apple TV Plus, whatever their streaming service
I have
is.
to check that out.
Yeah, it's cool.
Seems like there's a lot of good stuff on there.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you can get it. You got it through your smart TV.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's an app just like Netflix or whatever. I happen to get it for free, I think, through Verizon, which is cool.
I know when you buy a new iPhone, you get like a year.
That's
of
what
Apple
it was.
TV Plus for free with the purchase.
That's what it was.
Do they allow for multiple accounts?
I don't know, but I can just give you my information.
Mason, when you buy your new phone, you can enjoy your year free of Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, there you go.
Even if it's not Verizon?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was buying my new phone, which I'm so happy that I have yet to replace, but that's fine.
Wait, what?
My speaker.
Oh, your speaker, right?
Your speaker.
Yeah. It's just they're never going to work, I guess.
I guess not. I'll just
Not for him.
I'll always have to use speakerphone.
Mine works fine.
I'm planning to come to you soon to get my new phone because I'd like a cheaper bill. That'd be cool. My bill is $101.75 this month
Same.
for one line.
I was thinking about switching. Not even gonna lie.
Our bills will get cut in half if we go to Taylor. So
think about it.
Everyone go to Taylor for your cell phone needs.
Really?
Movies versus TV. I don't know.
It depends on what you're looking for. I feel like you were saying, TV has the option to really sit with these characters and build this storyline,
which I think will always be more beneficial
for this. But I also think there's something cool about a really well executed movie.
Yeah,
it's like you show up 2 hours, 2.5 hours. You get a front to back through line. This is your story. This is your piece of it, and you're done, and you enjoyed it. As opposed to, because sadly, 9 times out of 10 series have filler episodes. I have, all right, that one was fine. I guess that one beat was pretty good, but the rest was kind of whatever and can be left. So
Yeah.
something about a really well executed movie, I think, is like a really, really good use of your time.
Yeah.
And I mean, you would think but I don't think movies are going anywhere because one, they've been around forever, and also like they're just making more money. Like these records are being broken left and right because it's something that people are always gonna, although we have streaming services and we have going out to go see a movie will forever be like a pastime for people.
Yeah, I don't know if movies are going anywhere, but I'm inclined to say theaters might be. I don't know. And I'm not saying in like the next 5 years. I'm thinking like long term.
It's going to get to the point where movies are like pay-per-view
Mm-hmm.
and you just pay $10, $15, whatever it is, and you have 24 hours.
To stream it straight to your...
Right.
That's something that they've tried.
The only thing that's going to keep them from doing that is what's to keep like us three sitting in your living room paying the $15 once, and all three of us get to see the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's something they would just have to bake into. I think it wouldn't be it would probably be the cost of like,
yeah,
you want to see this new movie? It's $80. Like, because pay-per-views are
what if they did
60,
They are.
whatever.
Yeah.
What if they released? This is a weird idea, but what if they released a camera? It was like a web camera, but it was like a movie web camera, right? Similar like the PS camera or something that we'd use for your PSVR. You have to put it on your TV, and inside it has the software to
detect how many faces are.
Yeah, it can literally see how many bodies are in your living room or in front of your TV, and you have a QR code on your phone.
I think we've talked about this on the show before.
We did. I didn't have the webcam dynamic, but we talked about QR codes. But you scan in with the QR code or whatever, or you receive you link up with the app through the webcam, all housed in the webcam,
Okay.
and it's on top of your TV, senses the people. If it sees one more set of eyes or whatever, there's totally technology that can do that.
Oh yeah.
So it's like,
we have it right now.
Be like, we can't start the film until.
Tell your friend to leave.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there'd be ways where they could fool it.
Well,
that would be really Big Brother and weird kind of.
The problem
we're
with
already in a
something
Big
like that
Brother.
too is what's to keep, like, say we did that, but what's to keep one of us recording, literally like using a cell phone or something to record the screen.
Yeah. I mean, you have people that go out and record.
Oh, sure.
There's
movies
like
in the
near
theater.
flawless versions of Rise of Skywalker out there right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Disney gave up. They were like, "Fucking, I don't care."
Whatever. We made our money.
Yeah. I think, Mike, you're right. I think obviously TV series have the benefit of length and the benefit of being able to sit with those characters longer, tell more complex arcs, just have more complexity in general. But there is something that's just uniquely fun about being able to go into a theater, carve out just 2 hours and not 200, and be told the story.
Like, would Marriage Story be great over like 13 hours? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I don't know. It could be, I guess, but because the thing that sucks is like the longer you make it, the more content you need. So
Yeah.
there'd be subplots
Mhm.
and there'd be this, and like if Marriage Story was a series, they would probably explore the affair he had more in depth, and you know what I mean. They would just take those elements and extrapolate from them. But yeah, I don't know. Like if we're talking about, I can think of specific franchises where I'd be like, all right, do I want to see a movie of this or a series?
Which I actually, not to cut you off, I'm really interested in. I've never seen Watchmen in any form. I have the movie, and I have Apple TV, and they actually are partnered with HBO, so I can watch The Watchmen. I think they're two totally
Got
different
all the
stories.
connections, man.
Hey, man, you know how I do. But so yeah, it's like if there's options to be like movie form or TV form, I wonder which one would actually be like, it's the same story, which way can tell it better. I think that would be super interesting.
From what I'm hearing, the TV show is better than the Snyder film.
Yeah, but I think if I'm not mistaken, I think it this is a totally different story. I think it takes place after the movie and everything. This is like a whole new, but I hear it's great. I definitely want to watch it.
Yeah, I tried to get through the Snyder film and I could never finish it. I don't know. one, I tried to watch it like probably 7 or 8 years ago, and I gave up. Secondly, I just couldn't. It's cool. It's cool. It's very grim, which I enjoy, but something about it just didn't work for me. So the show, I'm interested to check it out too, and it's interesting that they've pretty much reports say that they've called it quits after one season,
which I'm cool with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a lot of things last too long, and that's definitely something that I guess movie franchises can also last too long, but it's like a movie is a movie. A TV show can be like, all right, it's like all the Arrow, like the CW superhero shows and stuff. I always dip out after like 2 seasons because it just turns to crap, and they're like, well, people are still watching and we have it ordered for this long, so just keep it going, I guess.
Try super hard on the front end to get people involved.
It's like, now that they're invested, everyone relax, we got them.
Remove these writers to this show. And I don't know.
Everyone's losing their mind over the CW Flash and the DC Flash like coming in, and
so that show is just like they're just combining those universes now, or
because they every year they'll do a crossover event, which is like Arrow and Flash and Supergirl,
Crisis on Infinite Earths, right?
So they'll bring all the shows together, and like for that week or 2 weeks or whatever, each of their shows is like, so like on the night Arrow episode whatever should come out, it's like part 1, and then the night Flash episode whatever comes out, that's part 2. So it's over all of these shows, they have one storyline. And I guess the Flash one, Ezra Miller's Flash from the DC movies, there was like a little scene where he shows up and they're like, what's happening? And it was pretty bad, but I didn't actually watch it, so I can't really speak on it. But I guess the general consensus was like, cool that he's there. Wasn't executed well by any means, but it was cool that he was on screen with that one. Yeah. So, I don't know.
I kind of want to switch gears real quick, if you don't mind.
Turn the steering wheel
into a different direction. I saw this on Instagram. Would you just recognize my face, please? Thank you.
You said thank you, but
he puts his code in.
Yeah.
Mass Effect.
So I saw this on
Best game in the world.
I saw this on Game Informer, Taylor, and I want to reminisce with you real quick. This is from Game Informer's Instagram. It says, the caption says, "Can you believe it's already been 10 years since Mass Effect 2 launched? BioWare's masterpiece."
No, I can't. First of all,
I know.
I refuse.
Question.
10 years. BioWare's masterpiece. I remember playing. All right, we'll get to it. BioWare's masterpiece continued the journey of Commander Shepard and introduced a ton of fan favorite characters with incredible dialogue, excellent gameplay, and one of the most intense final missions you'll ever play. Mass Effect 2 more than earned our ranking as the 4th best RPG of all time and their 19th greatest game of all time.
Wait, 4th best?
Yeah. I actually got
2 and 3 better be.
I got their newest issue in the mail, and I started looking at that at their lists, and I was their game of the decade is GTA 5.
Understandably so.
Okay.
For what it is, it's kind of like,
I understand why. And that's because because of how much the game has to offer.
Yeah.
And how much content has continuously to come out for that game over the past 7 years with GTA Online.
Like Funhouse still has.
I get it.
GTA 5
also,
videos, like regularly.
Look at the visual quality of that game. A game that's 7 years old. I understand. It's not.
GTA 5 is 7 years old.
Yeah.
2013.
2013. It came out on
2013.
It came out on the 360 and PS3.
Holy shit!
Isn't it the best-selling game of all time?
I'm sure it is.
It's billions of copies.
Yeah, I think I'm sure it is.
Billions of copies.
Is it?
You
Huh?
You want to slide me that remote?
Is it the best game in the world? No, but it's very good, and I get why. Like I said,
I remember their top 3.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, go ahead, look
right
it up.
now.
That perfect. Number 2 was Skyrim.
Okay, also understand.
Number 3 was The Witcher.
Which one?
3.
Okay. I guess I have to play that then. And I will directly
Witcher
compare
3?
the enjoyability of it to Mass Effect 2 because I remember how much I enjoyed that game.
I've never played any of the Mass Effects.
Tell me what you're gonna say.
You can't. Why compare games? Why not just look at a game for its own merits? And
because I know it bothers you when I tell you I'm
just
going to compare.
Just compare the maps. That's what I want you to do.
Compare the map from Fallen Order, the best video game map ever made, and
ever made.
Horrible map.
they're gonna
So
say
bad.
horrible game.
I'm sorry. No, the game's fine.
The map's not that
Terrible
bad.
map.
No,
It's bad.
It's not that bad. It's not ideal, I guess you could say. I could see how it could get under people's skin, but I really don't think it's that rough. You just have to learn the ins and outs of it. There's a legend right there. You're literally it's a 3D. You got an arrow pointing in your direction, different levels with the D-pad. It can be confusing. I totally understand why you don't like it, but
As you're explaining it, you're like, I guess it's a little convoluted.
no,
I know.
I get
Yeah.
it. I just anyway, Mass Effect 2
Continue.
Yeah,
yes. While I look this up, continue.
one of the few games that came out our junior year of high school, one of the few games that I was looking forward to intensely back then, came out and exceeded pretty much all of my expectations. I think it exceeded everybody's expectations. Crazy that it's been 10 years. 1, 2, and 3, like the original Mass Effect trilogy, is a very special kind of place in gaming history and a special place in BioWare's personal history as a developer. And I really wish that, I said this in the car, but, we're talking about all these different franchises that get ported over.
Yeah.
I really struggle to think why the original trilogy hasn't been brought to this generation of consoles, at least ahead of Andromeda in 2017, or, oh, big news too. They are working. It's confirmed they are developing a new Mass Effect title.
Really?
Yeah. So
I need to play them because I haven't played any of them.
I think you would enjoy them.
Andromeda left a really bad taste in my mouth.
And everybody's mouth. It's a very
It's rough.
Has it ever been like? Because wasn't it more how it played, not like the
No, it was the
really
it
just
was
all
the
of it was-
dialogue and
all
the
of it.
story,
Really?
which is unfortunate because if it's like mechanics, you can fix that.
That's
You
what I was gonna
can't
say. I was
fix
like-
a bad, poorly written game.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like even if it ran perfectly,
it would still be boring.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
It's a real bummer.
Because I know a lot of people really do love the franchise.
It's great. I mean, it's Mass Effect made the original KOTOR, the original Knights of the Old Republic, which is also rumored to be in development. A reboot of sorts, maybe a remake, whatever. That's huge. But they
I found
made
out I can get that on my iPad.
you can.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
you can get it on your iPad, your phone, whatever. But they made that game, and then KOTOR 2 was given to Obsidian, which is a third-party developer, and they handled that one, which is arguably better. But and then they were like, you know what, we want to make our own sci-fi thing on the scale of something like Star Wars, and they made Mass Effect, which is our galaxy about 100 some years in the future, or no, maybe it's like 500 years in the future.
Let me take a look.
The synopsis of Mass Effect, though, is like we finally get to Mars, and we're on Mars now, theoretically, but we get to Mars, we start exploring it, people are there, and we discover ancient alien ruins from a precursor race, pretty much, and they have technology there that we study, and it helps us to learn faster than light travel. So because of that, jumps our technology forward like 300 years, and we're able to actually go around our galaxy and explore. And then we actually bump into aliens, and it's this big thing.
Mass Effect is set in 2183.
Okay, yeah.
So about 150 years, 160 years.
I
or so.
forget when they discovered the Prothean ruins, but
That's when they
words that just come
that
back
was
to me.
when they discovered
the mass
the
relays and all that,
technology,
yeah.
which you would imagine 120 years will
Is
probably
the
have
first
a significant presence, like a human presence on Mars in 120 years.
From now?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Elon himself will be buried there probably.
Is the first game considerably more like grounded?
Yes.
Would you say, just like
In what
story
way?
wise, like character wise and story wise, and
I would say story-wise, it is more of a linear. Mass Effect 1 is more of a linear game than Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, Mass Effect 1 is worst in almost every way, with the exception of the writing and the characters. The combat's jankier. The traversal is... The RPG mechanics are deeper. They kind of streamlined it a bit for 2.
The Mako.
The Mako's rough. I actually had
No.
fun. I had fun with that thing. It's not that bad.
Mako's right up there with the map from Fallen Order.
Grounded, you mean just like less fantastical?
yeah,
Or like
I guess.
they're all kind of similar in
Really?
tone. Yeah,
The writing is pretty similar as far as like how it approaches
It's-
things.
I feel like just a lot of it's like,
But-
the first one's like the developing, but then the second
Yeah.
one's like where it all kind
Well,
of.
Yeah, and if you mean it in that way, yes.
Yeah.
The first one is like a proof of concept, and the second one is like, holy shit, they really
Yeah.
improved everything and realized their vision fully. Yeah, totally. Like it's
I mean, Mass Effect 2, how many planets can you visit? Like, there's hundreds of planets you can go to and just like mine for resources.
Yeah, there's only a handful that you can actually land on.
Right,
But you can go to a bunch of them.
yeah.
Yeah. And then there's a bunch of planets that obviously, and it's the Fallen Order thing of like picking a planet on the galaxy map and going.
Yeah.
And it's that fantasy that you get to play into, and you're the captain of the ship, and there's the deck, and you can walk around your fucking, like the Normandy is the best video game ship ever.
Yeah.
Like you can walk
Without
around
question.
from deck to deck. You have crew quarters. You can go to your fucking cabin and chill out. You can decorate it.
Talk to people.
You can wear different, like it's just,
That's dope.
it's ultimate space fantasy, and it's like really great like to role play that, because that's you know, I've been saying it and hope maybe they'll realize it with this new Knights of the Old Republic game. Probably not, but you know, we need a Star Wars game that does that. Like Fallen Order was the closest thing that we've had to what I want out of my perfect Star Wars game in my head, which is kind of a reimagined Knights of the Old Republic with, you know, the same attention to the writing and the same attention to the world building that they gave back in the early 2000s to those games. But maybe we'll get it. But Mass Effect is kind of the general extension of that. Like, and you even have like, there's things called biotics, which are practically force powers.
Yeah.
So you have pretty much, you can force push people and you can make people float and you can, you know, have different builds. And so like, it's such a massively popular franchise that it's funny that never did get ported to this generation. I don't know if that's because of the underperformance and kind of critical bashing Andromeda took.
So the only reason I don't agree with that is there was some time between when PS4 and Xbox One came out and between then and when Andromeda came out that they had time to do it. And honestly, because of how poorly Andromeda did, porting the original trilogy to the next gen may have been a good idea by BioWare, because it would have taken
Hey, remember what you like?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have taken people's minds off of Andromeda. But, you know.
Yeah, I bought a PS4 Pro specifically for Andromeda. I remember it. I bought it the week before, got the game all pre-installed.
And
like
loved it.
And I like, the opening hours aren't that bad. Actually, the intro, I'd argue, is pretty damn compelling. And then it just
It sucks
drops
you
off.
in and then it spits you out.
It's a great way to put it.
I bought my PlayStation Pro for Spider-Man.
A much more worthier game to buy a console for.
But yeah, I just I hope that franchise reemerges, and I hope that whatever they're doing for this next installment, they go back to their, go back to the grassroots, go back to the things that people love about the franchise. Get some good writers in there, please. I know that that's harder or easier said than done, but
They had good writers and they left.
It's funny because a lot of the people who worked on the original Mass Effect games, I think, worked on like the newest Dragon Age. Like they have like their Dragon Age team,
Yeah.
and then they have their
A lot
Mass
of
Effect
studios
team.
do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bethesda's pretty much that with Fallout and Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
So
Dragon Age was pretty good from what I've seen.
Inquisition, yeah. 2014 was just a real bad year for games, like
Yeah.
just in general. If you go back and look historically at what came out that year, it's
Yeah.
like, just give it to Dragon Age, I guess. Let's give the game a year to Dragon Age. But no, Dragon Age is cool. I never finished it because it's actually in the opening area that you go to, or like one of the first areas that you go to is notoriously huge.
Yeah.
The Hinterlands. And there are memes around there that are like, hey, been playing Dragon Age Inquisition for 6 years now, still in the Hinterlands. Like there's
funny.
like so many fucking memes out there about it, because it's like one of the biggest places that you can visit in the game, and it's like the second or third area that I'm
Yeah.
probably wrong. Someone's probably going to correct me, but
No, they're not.
yeah,
No one's correcting you.
I played Dragon Age Origins.
that's a
lot.
classic. Yeah, it's a classic.
Actually, when we're done with this, I'm gonna try to go and see if I can find out like the playtime I sunk into that game, because I remember I played that game for a solid like 6 months straight. And then Dragon Age 2 came out. Depressing.
Yes, dude. That
I remember you and I both were excited.
you,
for
me,
that
and
game.
Malarkey. I think.
Yeah, all three of us bought it, and all three of us, I think, kind of hated it.
It's a bad game.
Yeah.
They took so many shortcuts.
Yeah.
You have like all these dungeons in this game that you go and, fight people and loot and stuff. And they were all literally carbon copies
Yeah,
of each other, like
That's fun.
visually. It's the exact same architecture, the exact same dungeons.
Yeah.
The combat was fun, I would say, but the writing again was bad. And they tried to copy
the only
Mass
reason
Effect.
the combat was fun is because you went from turn-based combat for the most part in Dragon Age Origins to like real time. So that was
Turn-based combat's rough.
see.
Can
It
be.
depends on the game.
It can be.
Really?
It depends on the game. Knights of the Old Republic is turn-based. Dragon Age Origins is
Technically.
turn-based.
Yeah.
I mean,
And they're great.
yeah.
They're still like fun enough to watch, and it's engaging. And that's a question though. So let me ask this question to you guys, since there's the rumors of the new KOTOR being worked on. If you like, and I know you haven't finished Fallen Order, but you know,
Almost there.
you're closer than you were 3 days ago.
That's right.
You're like, is your ideal Star Wars game, like if someone was like, hey, you know, we're going to make a game in the Star Wars universe, what would you want it to be? Would you want it to be a game of a story that we've already know? Do you want it to be a game of like just something that's like make your own adventure, like an RPG, or like what would entice you the most about a game in that universe? If anything, maybe you don't want a Star Wars game, but
No, I would take a Star Wars game any day of the week. Ideally, I would like to have something that hasn't been written. The only thing, like the only time period that hasn't really been explored that I would like to see is between episodes 2 and 3, focusing on Anakin and Obi-Wan, just because there's some references in episode 3 to things that they had done, you know, between the two movies.
the Clone Wars series covers a lot of that too.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I mean, it could be, there's still more adventures that I'm sure that
yeah, so it would be cool to have a game about that. Other than that, I mean, there's so much time like hasn't been explored in any source of, you know, media, games, movies, anything like that. And if you believe the rumors, the new trilogy, whenever they make it, is going to focus on the High Republic era, which is one that hasn't really been focused on. But ideally for a game, I would like to be one that we haven't been told a story for, just because that way you can experience the story as you go. I don't want to have a game that you play as, you know, Anakin Skywalker or something like that, and you follow a story that we're already familiar with.
Yeah. I would just want a spaceship and stars and planets I know and
A lightsaber.
quests. Or no, give me the option to be a bounty hunter. Give me the option to be a
But then isn't that just basically Mass Effect?
No.
not necessarily.
No.
Mass Effect, you're role playing kind of a very specific kind of character. You can
Mhm.
make that character. It's similar to The Witcher, where you're in a predetermined role, but you can make that person
However you want
how
it to
they
be.
want it. Like, yeah. It's more like I just want freedom to explore the galaxy and just be immersed in that universe. That
Would
was
you
my-
want so less linear than Fallen Order?
Dude, I will take a Fallen Order until the day I die.
Yeah.
I think that it was
With the map?
with the map. Map didn't really ever bother me. It could be a little bit confusing. I would be lying if I said there weren't moments in that game where I'm like, where the fuck do I go?
Yeah.
But, you know,
One thing I've noticed with this game is just the option of, since it is very exploration based, when you're
Mhm.
first, I tend to like my games more linear and more story, just like go from this point to this point, so like the story can continue. So I'll be like going down a corridor and I'm like, that's the right but that door, but then I'm like, but if I take that door, does that totally like mess not like the story up, but like my progression? Like, am I doing all this for no reason when I really should
Is
be
there
going
something on
this?
the other side of the door that's about to fucking kill you?
Yeah,
I mean,
for real. But
yeah, that's the kind of like the appeal of those games.
Yeah.
It's like you can like, you know, you can like some people mainline Critical Path and they just go straight through, and then, you know, just because I know how games work because I've been playing them forever, it's like, well, if I go down this side path, I'm probably going to get a really cool item that's going to help me.
yeah,
In Fallen Order, it's typically a skin or something that
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily matter, but can help to personalize the experience a little bit more. But yeah, it's that, you know, the thing I like about games that kind of give you a moment to choose what you want to do, it goes from you're on rails, we're telling you you're in this universe, to you're just existing in this universe,
Yeah.
and you feel the atmosphere and you get to make a choice.
Mhm.
Like, I'm going to go down this path and see what's down here, or I'm going to go and continue this narrative beat or whatever. And it's all those little explorations, those little stories that you make yourself that take it from just being like, oh, I'm in what they're telling me I'm in, or I'm experiencing what they're telling me to experience,
Mhm.
versus I'm just in this universe now,
Yeah.
and I'm just more immersed in it than maybe I was before. But that's all games. But then Fallen Order, I think, delves into that. But honestly, since they, you know, I think there's going to be a Fallen Order sequel. It's selling really well. I think Respawn is probably starting to work on it in some capacity. hopefully they pull a Mass Effect 2 and, they hear that, because I mean, you're not the only person who doesn't like the map, you know what I mean? And it's a game that on PC, I wish you guys could have played it on PC or could play it on PC, because it's just a totally different experience in terms of just your kind of mental connection to it, because there's, some bugs and stuff, but it's not to the extent of console at all. And it just it tends to be a bit smoother, which tends to kind of bridge that mind gap that you can have with games a little bit easier. At a point. But I think there's going to be a sequel, and if there is, cool. If they improve on, the Fallen Order needed 6 more months in the oven, period. It probably could have been a fall 2020 game, and it probably would have been immaculate.
But that's not when the movie was coming in.
Exactly. They need to push for marketing. And I think it's honestly kind of, given the scope of the game and given how many different places you go and different things and how gorgeous it can be and how fun it can be to play, the fact that, especially if you watch the behind the scenes, which I would recommend watching after you finish it, or, how everything came together and the last moments there is really kind of some of the most incredible parts of why people make games, like just how they all come together and unite as most creative teams do when they're doing something creative, and they rise to the challenge and push something unique and fun out the door. But yeah, I think we'll, past Fallen Order, I think if Star Wars game can give me, just let me exist in that universe and tell me interesting stories. I don't need to be told a massively huge story every time. I just want to, I play games to exist in those universes because I'm sick of my own. Like
that's fair.
That's why I play video games, is because they tend to be more fun, more interesting, more rewarding than real life. Mm-hmm. So at least on more of a consistent basis. And that's a bit of a philosophical talk that we don't have to get into now, but just give me that. Just let me exist in that universe. Sure. But I don't mean to keep yammering on, but I recently finished Control. I had mentioned it to you guys last week. I have a video up on my own personal channel, The Clever Casual.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, stealing all of our traffic.
Wow.
All 19 views. I talked about it over there a bit, but it's cool. The combat is some of the best I've played in recent memory. It's real good, but God, the interstitial shit can fuck right off. Like just some of the whole I spawn at A, I have to get to C, but in B there's a bunch of enemies, so I got to fight through the enemies. I get to C, which is my objective, and I die, and it spawns me back at A. Yeah. So I've got to go from A to C every fucking time, and it could be a really hard encounter at C. Yeah. Yeah, and it baffles me that there's not a mid-mission checkpoint system or the option to choose kind of how you respawn. But it honestly almost killed the game for me.
I totally get that, because I even, I wouldn't meditate at a certain spot, and then I would die, and I'd be like, I have to do all this shit again because I missed a point or whatever.
And Fallen Order has that a little bit. Mm-hmm. Control and Fallen Order are kind of designed a little bit similarly in terms of how their worlds are laid out. In Control, you can fast travel between control points, which are like your meditation spots. Yeah, so that alleviates it a little bit. But when I respawn back at the control point that I was at, that I last interacted with, and my objective is still 3 or 4 minutes worth of travel away, and then on the way, I'm often interacting with enemies that just decide to spawn. Yeah. And they're fucking annoying and hard, and I don't want to fight them. The combat's the best part of that game, and I don't want to fight these guys right now. I want to get back to, because it'll be a fucking big boss battle that's part of a really interesting side mission or the main narrative, and your progress isn't necessarily lost, but you have to go all the way back and just getting there again. And this place is confusing as fuck. It's not, and it brings up a map. Dude, this is the Control map versus the Fallen Order map. When you play Control, you got to tell me which one. It's just a 2D map with an arrow on it, so you'll probably like it a little bit better because it's a little bit more simpler.
I think I've seen it. I told you I started
playing
it.
But it's just as obtuse, if not more so, than the what?
Rubber Goose?
Yeah, it's just as Rubber Goose as the Fallen Order map can be.
I remember being able to use it just fine.
How much of Control have you played?
Probably just the first half hour or so.
Oh, you got to get into it. Once you start unlocking a bunch of different sectors, and I think it's a good game. I'll
keep you updated.
I'm really big on gameplay flow and being
Yeah.
able to get into a rhythm with a game when I play it, because when I can get into a rhythm and I can feel that gameplay loop and I'm in this flow, that's when I'm fully mentally engaged and I'm having the most fun and I'm fully invested. And when I'm simply just trying to beat a mission and I can't because I keep dying and it doesn't even have the courtesy to spawn me back at the boss, that's just going to whip my ass again anyway.
Yeah.
I have to spend 5 minutes to get there and get my fucking shit pushed in again.
Yeah, it's annoying.
I'm just like, fucking, why don't you think of this? Is it a thing? And I put out in my review, I'm like, I think it's a thing where they wanted me to be exposed to the world they made a little bit more. But it's like, I don't care. Like, I don't care how cool
I'm
shit
just
is.
frustrated.
Yeah, I'm just mad and I want to get back to it and you won't let me because of a seemingly simple omission of a design choice. But I did finish it and story's all right. Pretty cool at the end, I guess. But it would literally, I would pick it up and I'd be like, man, this fucking game is awesome. And I'd be in combat initially, and the first 20, 30 minutes would be like, fucking fun. And then I would start dying and I'd be like, okay, all right, yeah. All right.
No, it is fun though.
Yeah, but this is pretty fun. All right, die again. Fuck. All right, well, I guess it's still pretty fun though. I got it. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh shit. Fucking hell. Okay, back all the way here again. Okay. All right, and then dead again. And then I'm like, all right, I quit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how. And it's you don't die that. It's not. There is no difficulty slider either.
No,
So the game
is what the game is.
The game has that general ramp of difficulty.
Same.
At least I couldn't find a slider anywhere. Yeah, controls a video game. What's the next topic?
Whatever you want it to be. Lead us.
Lead us, blind, faithful leader. We talked about everything except the episode 9 concept art, and I don't know if I want to touch on that.
So then let's not touch on it.
All right. Taylor, what are you most excited for? Did we do our most anticipated games of 2020? We didn't really talk about that.
Games? No, I don't think so.
Do you have anything that, besides the new Madden, do you have anything that you're...
How dare you?
anything that sticks out to you gaming-wise?
Honestly, Last of Us 2, just because...
Oh, yeah, that is May, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know, let's see.
You finished Last of Us. It's
Yeah.
one of the ones you
I
finished.
thought it got pushed back.
It did, didn't it?
I think so.
Is it one of the
Is it
86?
2021?
I thought it was going to be a
Fall 2020, probably.
I thought it was going to be a launch title for PS5.
That would be smart.
Very smart.
As I look quickly, 2020 games, Cyberpunk, which I know got delayed. The Last of Us 2, I think got delayed. We just got like a huge string of delays, right?
Yeah, except Doom Eternal, which is out there like a little pearl in the sun now.
A pearl in the sun.
A pearl in the sun.
Is that a thing anyone's ever said?
Nope.
So this was posted 5 days ago. It said that Last of Us 2 was originally set to be released in February of 2020.
That was May now.
However, Naughty Dog announced that it'll be being delayed a few months and that May 29th is the release date for Last of Us.
That's fine.
That's fine with me.
That's probably what I'm most anticipating for the next year anyway.
I think so.
I like story-driven games. Although sadly I tend to not complete them, which I know is your favorite. But
It keeps me up at night.
I know. Yeah, I don't know. We really enjoyed Dying Light for a while. We got a second one coming, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
Allegedly, it's pushed back indefinitely.
Yeah,
There's
they pushed it
release
back
date now.
indefinitely.
Indefinitely.
Just cancel the project.
Yeah, I don't know. I tend to get excited for games that you tell me to get excited for, and
Hey man, you should get excited for whatever you want to get excited about. I think Cyberpunk could be cool.
Dying Light's on sale right now on PSN.
We all own it.
yeah,
I don't.
we'll buy it.
Who did we play it with? You mean Jordan?
I think. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Be
Jordan.
up for another playthrough.
It runs at like 1 frame a second sometimes.
Yeah, it gets rough.
It gets me a headache.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I want to play Doom because a lot of people are excited about Eternal.
Dude, yeah. You should buy the first one. Turn it down to fucking Hurt Me Plenty or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Can I Play Daddy, I think is the bottom difficulty.
Are you saying I'm bad at video games, Mace?
I'm saying, hey man,
just
turn it down.
because I turned it down to story mode. It's a totally different video game. When you put it on story mode, it's very funny,
Yes, they prioritize narrative.
which is what I care about. I don't want to die 13 times fighting one boss because I can't hit square at the right time.
It's understandable.
Lego Star Wars. Look out.
Don't care.
Yeah, I don't know.
You should play Doom 2016.
Yeah,
I think the Lego Star Wars is a Skywalker
the
saga.
it is.
I don't care.
You should.
I don't though, because it's all the same game.
Is it?
Yeah,
They're fun for a little bit.
They're fun for 4 minutes, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not 6. This can't hold my attention. I have a problem. Yeah, it's $20 on PSN and has the PS4 version runs real well. So
I've played it, not like a huge chunk of it, but I've played a bit of it and totally enjoyed it.
it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just a video game, and it's fun. And in Eternal, they're just doubling down on that.
Yeah.
They're just like fucking pickups. That's a 1-up. It just says 1-up, but you get an extra life. Oh, you're in Bowser's castle now, and there's wall climbing and double jumping and dashing, and it just you feel so fucking awesome when you're playing it. Like you have just a level of control over the character. It's just fucking awesome.
And then yes, Madden,
The
which
inevitable,
I couldn't tell you the last time I even played Madden.
the inevitable sequel.
To Madden, yes. No Madden curse this year, baby. It got Antonio Brown so bad last year that they just skipped Patrick Mahomes. They were like, you can go to the Super Bowl. That's fine.
Oh yeah. Do we know the cover athlete yet of
Up next,
Way
no.
way too early,
Yeah.
right?
They normally do like a whole voting thing and some nonsense, or they did that for a little while. Yeah, I don't know. Video games, I just kind of...
You're getting into them, man.
I am. I'm trying to more because they are enjoyable. I like my narrative video games,
Mhm.
but then I also like to devote multiple hours to that story. And it's rare that I really have that.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to carve that out, and the adult lifestyles that we lead, you especially, but it's all about finding that. Like that's why I carve out like 40 minutes sometimes and play, or it's obviously ideal to want to like sit down and fully immerse yourself for 6 or 7 hours on end, but you get up real early to play sometimes, don't you?
Sometimes.
Video games are cool. They're
Yes,
a
they
drug, just
All
like this Coca-Cola.
All right, relax. But it's made with cane sugar,
It is. It's made with cocaine sugar.
carbonated water, cane sugar, caramel color,
Oh.
phosphoric acid, natural flavors, caffeine. Caffeine's the last ingredient, which means it's the least potent.
Is that what they have to abide to?
I
Still?
think so. I think it's like from top to bottom.
Is there any other gaming or movie news that we want to touch on?
Nothing that comes to mind.
What movies are you excited for in the near future? A lot of people said The Gentleman is really, really good. I even actually thought about us going to see that today.
I didn't even know it was out.
Yeah, it came out. I think it just came out.
I want to see Underwater. Underwater's not out yet.
You
is it?
really? Yeah, it came out a while ago, I think.
That was January 31st.
I could be wrong. But yeah, The Gentleman's playing. I heard it was really good. It's getting good reviews.
I'm not a big Guy Ritchie fan.
Guy Ritchie guy.
I'll check it out though.
Yeah, I don't know.
We made a pact to start seeing more movies this year.
I know, we really should.
We have to. That and we have to start covering movie news.
Let's go see Uncut Gems. It's at the Dollar Theater.
Mm.
They have a 6:45 and a 9:40. I also want to see Queen and Slim and Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I'm going to spend a lot of... And like all the good movies are now in the Dollar
Yeah.
Theater. So now
I'm going to spend $6.
Yeah. Now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood's very good.
That's what you said. It was one of your favies.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see if what Tom Hanks can do, because he's not proven himself yet.
Nope.
Do you think he's one of the best?
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah, I think it's.
Where would you put him? Top 5?
I don't know. He doesn't. He doesn't
Disappear as much as you would like him to.
He's so huge. You know.
Yeah.
He's such a big personality, and he's got. He's just so fucking.
He appears in a lot of different genres too.
I'll say that I don't think he's a phenomenal actor. I don't think we can debate that. When I think of my favorite movies, I don't know that he's in any of them.
No.
I don't know. He was really.
You haven't seen Catch Me If You Can.
Saving Private
Also
Ryan, I
haven't
would
seen
imagine, is up there.
Yeah,
for you.
he's great in that. Yeah, I mean, he's great in everything. He's Tom Hanks. I mean,
Yeah.
that's such a weird question because you're right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Would I have him in my top 5? Maybe. But I'm so like weird about like I'm just really hot on like who I'm watching now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're all about Adam Driver.
Adam Driver and Joaquin and whoever else pops up that Timothy Chalamet is really like incredibly talented for. He was in God, if I forget what he was in, but he's really young. He's coming up and he's insanely talented.
Is he the guy that Chris D'Elia has been talking about?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know. He's
If
talking
you looked
about
up a
some
picture
cute
of
boy.
him, you probably him. Everyone has a crush on Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet was in that. I don't know if it was good or not, but Beautiful Boy with Steve Carell. He was the son. He was on Amazon.
Sure.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is a legend. I don't know. Would you rather have your movie have? Who's better, Tom Hanks or Tom
Don't spell
Cruise?
your last name. Yeah, that's the dude that Chris D'Elia's been talking about.
Would you rather have your movie helmed by Tom Hanks or Tom Cruise?
Helmed, like leading role.
Yeah.
I think I would
Depends
take
on the
Tom
movie.
Hanks. It would probably depend on the movie, but I think I would take Tom Hanks.
If it's an action movie,
It's a courtroom drama.
Tom
We've
Hanks.
already seen that though with Tom Cruise.
But I would pick Tom Hanks.
I mean, I don't want to see Tom
He's just-
Hanks like piloting
He's a secret
a
agent.
Okay, so Mission Impossible. But he's also Mr. Rogers.
Yes, this is an alternative reality biopic of Mr. Rogers if he was actually a Navy SEAL, like everyone always said he was. You guys hear those rumors about Rogers?
Yeah, of
growing
course.
up?
No.
The rumor was he always wore long sleeves because he had 2 full sleeves of tattoos.
Yeah, and he was like a Navy SEAL, like a
Okay.
yeah.
And I'm assuming it's all false. I'm pretty sure. So,
No clue.
but yeah, that's been notes for next time. Episode 7.
Sweet.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching with us. We really appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Maybe in the same clothes.
Maybe in the same clothes. We don't know. But thanks, guys. We really do appreciate it. I'm Mason.
Mike.
I'm Taylor.